Bang!
Tarps off sports.
What is going on, guys? UFC 261 is in the books, Jack. It was hard for me as a sports fan. Not that I was emotional, but it was just like I was taken back at times and very happy to see 15,000 people close together watching sports again in unison. The Olay chants. Daniel Cormier went up to Jake Paul and started some shit, and there was fuck Jake Paul,
Oh, it
which I
felt good,
love.
great again.
Dude, it felt really.
And we saw it on the early
fucking
prelims.
good.
It had an impact on the actual fights. The early prelims, the fighters were going right out and they were going to war, and it definitely had
Yeah,
something to do with
man.
the
I mean,
crowd.
you're fighting in front of nobody, and then you finally get that energy back in that the crowd can bring, and it brings that momentum into fights that isn't usually there. And it was awesome to see. But right off the hop, Anthony Smith took on Jimmy the Brute Crute. Awful to see Anthony Smith hit a leg kick, and Jimmy Crute looked like he had an ankle injury or something happened there. His leg gave out. It was pretty vicious looking. He tried to fool the referee into thinking he was okay, or the doctor, sorry, that came in. Doctor wasn't buying it. He stopped the fight. Smith, the number 6 fighter in the division, holds strong, holds off the Brute, moves him down one, and that was pretty surprising off the hop, Jack. But I want to get into the next fight. This was horrible. You're a Chris Weidman guy. Chris Weidman takes on Uriah Hall, throws his first leg kick, and he snaps his leg in one of the most gruesome injuries you can ever see, man. It was awful.
Yeah, and honestly, well, to touch back on the Crute thing for a second, I would like to see him fight like Ryan Spawn. I think that would be a good fight for Jimmy Crute to follow that up with. I don't think he should be obliterated from that top contention there. That's a guy that's ranked ahead of him. I think that'd be a good fight. He showed toughness. He didn't want that fight stopped. He tried to persevere through. I mean, crazy balls on that guy. But what you saw happen to Chris Weidman, but what you saw happen to Chris Weidman tonight, that was hard to watch.
It could be career ending.
And you kind of figured his career was going to be over if he lost in any way, shape, or form tonight. And then to see an injury like that happen to him, you got to think this is a career for Chris Weidman, and a good one at that. A champion, a class act outside of the cage as well. You just pray for a guy like that. You hate to see that happen to him. And I think if he lost by any other way, I think it would be a career for him. But to see an injury like that, he definitely should just go spend time with the family and the wife.
Yeah, I agree, man. Shout out to Chris Weidman. You know, he's done a lot in his career. He has a lot to be proud of, and that was a horrific injury. And like Uriah Hall said, it's the sucky part of that fucking sport. It sucks when that happens. You feel horrible. He was sick about it. You don't want to ever feel a guy's leg snap off of your leg like that. Like, he felt terrible. He even said if Weidman ever can fight again, no matter where he's at the rankings, he owes him to fight again. Uriah Hall, pure class. But Jack, we came into the third fight of the evening. Valentina Shevchenko retained the women's flyweight title over Jessica Andrade via knockout at 3:19 of the second round. Shevchenko was never in doubt. Absolute vicious finish.
Well, honestly, I mean, if I were to say how I thought that fight was going to go down, this was the polar opposite. Shevchenko came to prove a point. She did not fight her style fight. She fought Andrade in her style fight to prove that she can even win there. She wanted to prove that she's the most dominant woman in this division's history. And how can you say she didn't prove that tonight?
No, she did, man. She did. Valentina Shevchenko is the real deal. She can beat you however she wants to. She could have finished Andrade in her striking early, but she wanted to prove a point. Like you said, show the world that she can wrestle too, and she can beat you down and stop a fight. And that's what she did, Jack. But Jack, co-main event of the evening, the women's strawweight title on the line. Weili Zhang taking on Rose Namajunas, and new women's strawweight champion, Jack Rose. Thug Rose Namajunas scored a vicious head kick she was knocked right out. She was contesting it after. I thought that was
no.
I think she'll look at the footage after and be like, "Oh, okay, I get it. You're emotional. You're in the ring." She had won 21 straight fights. Rose Namajunas is the new women's strawweight champion. Pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, and I don't think the UFC gives an immediate rematch, but like they really should, and I hope they do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do see an immediate rematch here. But I mean, wow, what a shocking end. And it was a good stoppage, just a big head kick. I mean, we've seen Rose, she can get to the pinnacle, but can she stay there? I don't know. She's last time she complained about how the title changed with her head and all this stuff. I don't know if she's the mentaliest or mental toughness of most fighters. We've seen some stuff outside the cage where she's shown a little bit of mental weakness. We'll see.
We'll see. It's a lot of responsibility being champion at any weight class, but Kamaru Usman of the welterweight weight class has no trouble being the champion. He destroyed Jorge Masvidal with a second round knockout. It was absolutely vicious, Jack. Kamaru Usman absolutely put a stamp on the welterweight division. We got Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman too. Coming up, Jack, he made pretty easy work of Jorge Masvidal.
And I think most people that watch the sport a lot expected him to make easy work of him. I mean, we saw he 50, 45, 50, 45, 49, 46 in their last fight. Full camp Masvidal was just another one of those C-level Kane motivated Conor McGregor type things. It was never actually reality. Usman smashed him. I actually put money on Usman to win in a second round finish because that's what I thought was going to happen. It did happen, so I cashed in there. But I mean, Usman versus Covington. Now that's something I want to see. Covington is now bashed American Top Team after in a post fight UFC 261 interview. He's been calling Marty fake newsman. He's been coming out with all these verbs for Usman. I mean, let's see. It's definitely a lot of bad blood there. I mean, Usman's talked about Colby's sister.
Oh yeah, he's been liking pictures of his sister. We'll see what happens, man. Covington, Usman, welterweight title. I like that to go down this summer, Jack. June or July. I think that'll happen. Usman really wasn't banged up at all in this fight. So
yeah, I think June makes perfect sense, or July, but I hope for June.
I'm open for June. Give me that as soon as possible, guys. Make sure you hit subscribe on Tarps Off Sports on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and on Twitter as well, Instagram, TikTok, all that other bullshit, guys. Tarps Off MMA. We out of here. UFC 261 is in the books. Rose Namajunas takes the women's strawweight title. Thug Rose, Jack.